Welcome back, Market Mastery, the 1 hour you need in the market to make money. We have been on fire lately, everything from Tesla to Palantir. We gave you the inside ticket so that you could make that big trade that will carry you into the end of the year, and we are setting up for an even better 2025. We are going to get right into it with our SPY options trades and analysis of the general markets. What should we do in a post-Trump presidency? How do we make money in this current market? Tesla going to keep going? Is Palantir bubble bursting right now, or are we just setting up for another run and an NVIDIA-like play? We're going to cover everything and more all the way through to Smash or Pass, where you guys submit the tickers and you ask your questions. We today are going to be doing something a little bit special as well. We're going to be giving away a $100 prize to one lucky member via DM. So we will fill you in on that soon. Make sure you are following both accounts, both at Stocks Heavy Shy and the Penny Boys account, so that you can have access to this giveaway. And make sure you are commenting on the stream. Just comment here on the stream, whether you're on Twitter or YouTube, so that we know you're in the game, and stay posted for those details. So let's get right into it here. I'm going to pull this screen up. We've got a very good couple of days here, I think, personally. And the SPY has played out perfectly. For those that attended our Friday stream, we collected that premium on both the passive options trades and the active options trades. Our two trades in general made us good money. I don't know how to get rid of this. TradingView's paying me for a post I did. I'm pretty excited. They're giving me $100 because the post exploded on the Chinese names, which you guys all saw and you guys all had before they did. So you're welcome. So let's get right into it. So SPY, here we are. Stocks Buddy flagging a bearish signal on the daily. We came off of this bottom at 571. We found a new market high, new all-time high at about 600 and change. We then proceeded to lose that 598 level, coming all the way down to the 583 level, which we've outlined for you on this stream every week since inception, telling you that this is the critical range that the SPY will come to. We are going to break down the bear and the bull options case for you for this week. There's no reason you don't make money trading this setup this week. So let's get into it. We've got the 15-minute chart right here. We're going to get pulled up, tuned up, and ready. So Stocks Buddy going bullish on the 15-minute, but we're going to ignore that for now. We're going to zoom out and look at the range we have here, okay? Huge breakout, 576 to 600. Huge attrition. Rejection here. That's when we went puts. Again, we outlined this whole trade for you. You should have made over 100% here. Then we went long, calls, and passive options income with our bulk put spread. Here, we already made about 75% ROI on that investment from the Friday stream. If you are not coming to our live get-together, and again, this is live on Discord. We have 5-6 veteran analysts, including myself and Stocks Heavy Shy on there, basically walking you through exactly what you need to do. And as of right now, I do believe we have the free trial live. So get in there and get access so that you can watch on Friday. We're going to do passive options income again, and then we're going to do our active lotto trade. Again, 83% return on those two trades from Friday to Monday. So if you put $100 on each trade, you made 83 off that $100 risk. So where do we go from here? Well, I think that we go up from here. I think that right now we are positioned for upside. I think the market is pricing it in. You're seeing buying into the close the last couple of days, and the strong push off this bottom range right here at 583 and change tells me that we should be optimistic. So the first thing I'm going to look for tomorrow is this. We've got this little bit right here. You can see that we gapped down, right here, 591.71. Remember, the gaps always want to fill themselves. That is always the first place to go. So we consider this a gap. We didn't fill it all the way, but we did come to support. So opening tomorrow, I expect this to either come down and open to support right here, or trade lower to our bottom dollar support and consolidate. This would be a long entry. This would be a long entry. Both of those are bottom dollar setups with minimal risk. Here's why. So when the stock opens up and it hits support, you have an easy pivot point to either enter the position with a tight stop loss, means minimal risk, tiny baby risk for big reward. So again, if we open and go lower and we start going long, and I'm going to break down the specific options contract I'm looking at for you in just a second, so stay tuned. If we go long right here, our stop loss needs to be right here. Easy peasy. So that means our stop loss can be a 50-cent stop loss, which means maybe we lose 10 to 15% on those options, but the upside is 40 to 50%. That's risking $1 to make $4. that is a good trade. So I think if we open lower, and as long as we hold here, this will be the inflection point in which I will be entering the long position. So now let's look at what contracts we're going to look at specifically. So I think that right now we can target 588 because I want to be near the money. So we're going to take a little bit more on the premium side just to get a little bit closer to the money because those contracts will grow a lot more quickly. So looking at the SPY options chain here, we want to give ourselves, I'm liking December 2nd. That gives us 14 days of expiration. I want to look at those 580. Oh, we're already there. So hold on. Let me see this right here. Let me get a better idea because we want to pick the strike the right way. If we even go 590, we'll see appreciation, and then we should go up from there. Implied volatility is only 11%. Okay, I'll take it. So we're looking at the 590 call for December 2nd. That is the bullish trade. Again, we will be looking to enter this trade right here as we press off support, or if we find support right at about 585 and change, that's a kind of entry one, entry two. I will reserve enough capital to buy one here and one here if that's the case, and that's what's needed. So that's going to be the long entry. And then I think once we get that entry, we should easily test 591. That should be a nice 15 to 30% swing if we get here. If we buy down here, that should be about a 30 to 40% move. If we break higher and we test the next level, which would be 596 or even 598, which is the top of our range, that trade should move 100% plus. So now that's your bullish option. So let's talk bearish options so that everyone's prepared. Again, I'm setting you up so that no matter what the market does, you're going to make money either way. That's the goal here, guys, is to be prepared to profit regardless of what the market gives you. You cannot predict this stuff. You can only be prepared. Ooh, tagline, reporter, write that down. I love that because you can't predict it, but you can be prepared. I like that. Boom, tagline, trademark. So let's look at the bearish scenario. I think the open is probably similar to what I expect to see tomorrow on the bullish side. We test right here, and then we basically just go lower. So once we break below 583.60, we are going to wait for confirmation. I'm on the 15-minute here. So what does confirmation look like? Well, let's find an example of breakdown. Okay, perfect. So right here, you can notice that we're trading above the top of this range, and the price comes down, and then it breaks below, and then as it comes up, it gets rejected right here. That 15-minute candle tested and then closed below this line. The same thing here. Fake breakout. This candle is your confirmation. Let me zoom in so you can see it. I'm going to get rid of that. So again, guys, this candle, make it really easy to see. This candle is your confirmation, right? Fake breakout, didn't play. Test, confirmation. We started above the line. We closed below the line. Now look at what has happened since that confirmation. This swung down to 594. There's an easy 50% plus trade there. It tested again and then swung down to 594, easy 50% trade, and then failed breakout again, came down to 596, 10 to 20% trade. And then the last time, if you would have held that, came down to 591, 100% plus trade. So again, that's preparing one time, watching this stream on a Monday, spending an hour of your life, getting that juice. You could have taken 3 different trades for a sum total of over 150% profit on a small amount of capital. That's what we're setting you up for here. So our bearish trade, same expiration, December 2nd. We're going to look on the put side. We want to bite off a little bit more here. Again, remember trading about 588. I really just like going 584. So the second this breaks down, we're in the money. So if we're looking at the 584 put, that's a lot more cost effective. Let's trade for about $3.64, which is $364. So I'm going to be going for the 584 put once we break and get confirmation right here for November 2nd. That should easily, I'm going to take a quick look at that chart to give you an expectation of where we think this can go here based on past options pricing. Now theta has decayed this position, but this thing has gone, okay, it went 0 to nothing. This is a newly written option. So I'd say in this case, we should see at least 15 to 30% quickly on this trade. And if we go down to test this right here, this blue line is essential. And keep in mind, this is the Penny Boys Trading View account. Just go to Trading View. I think it's at Penny Boys. I'm going to publish this chart so that you guys don't have to do any guesswork. You can simply refer back to this chart. So we are going to make sure that you have this chart so that you can make some money and that you know exactly what's going on with SPY. I spent hours building this chart. There's a lot of levels on there. Don't be overwhelmed. Just follow the ranges. Look at how many there are. But you have a plan now for wherever the price goes on SPY. You know the exact range to trade. And if you follow that model of 2 weeks out of expiration and you target at the top of range, you either trade the breakout up or you trade the sell-off down. You already know your target, which is the bottom of that range. You can make hundreds of % weekly just following this. So make sure you go to the TradingView account so that you can get access to this chart because I'm going to be publishing it. So those are your bull versus options trades on the SPY. Shy, low color, baby, what you think? And just Matt, what you seeing right now in this market?
Yeah, so before I start, I do want to say we're going to play a trivia game today. It's going to be NVIDIA themed because I think the whole market, and myself included, is waiting on Wednesday afternoon. That's going to be the next major catalyst on whether or not this market hits an all-time high or market pulls back to September low. So either way, we're going to make my portfolio hit an all-time high today. So I want to pay it forward even more. Going to give $100 to whoever gets 3 for 3 right on this trivia, and I'm going to randomize it on a third-party app, and I'll DM you what your PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle is, and you get free $100. Buy some sushi tonight, or who knows, in a couple of days, buy 2 shares of Palantir at the rate it's going down. Either way, free $100 doesn't get easier than that. So we're gonna play that about halfway through this stream. But either way, SPY, what happened today? There's a ton of news that dropped Friday after the market and pre-market Monday, which is really rare because those are usually the dead periods in the market. In the past couple of years, this whole year, nothing really has been released that would move a market, but that's totally different since the election. Like there's been a ton of news flow. Over the weekend, we got some news from that Trump is going to make it a lot easier to commercialize autonomy. And you have to go through the same rigorous like regulation hoops that you have to do for any kind of growth, any kind of tech that's going to disrupt a existing infrastructure in everyday lives. You won't have to go through as much of a hurdle anymore. So that's obviously bullish on Tesla. And you saw them catch a major bid pre-market. I think it was up 8% at one point today. Probably settled in around 5%. But the biggest news story that dropped over the weekend was NVIDIA. There was rumors out there or reports that NVIDIA's new Blackwell chip was potentially exposed to a delay due to overheating concerns. This comes right after a couple of weeks ago that there were some design flaw issues on NVIDIA's Blackwell chips. This is what's going to happen. Like when innovation windows keep tightening, where chips getting innovated used to take a year and a half, 2 years. Now it's down to a year. Now it's down to less than a year. The compute power is increasing while the chip size is decreasing. They're going to push to a limit where it's going to get tricky on how to increase power while also decreasing the size. That's what NVIDIA is experiencing right now on the Blackwell chip. And I'm fully confident that they will be able to handle this and get through it. But this could cause some delays on the data center players on what their plans are, because they're hoping that Blackwell chips will start coming in quicker. But if there's any kind of delays, that might adjust their plans. But you also notice like NVIDIA was down 3% today. It kind of picked back up. The biggest winner of this is AMD. We have been saying all months that AMD is a great company, but they're not failure, but their lack of success is because of NVIDIA and nothing that they can do on their own end. NVIDIA's innovation window is just happening within a year, where AMD launches a new chip or a new product, thinking that, oh wow, finally I have the latest hottest thing. I can product now. I can compete with like the latest hottest thing NVIDIA's product is. I deserve a seat at the table. But then NVIDIA just comes up with Blackwell chip, and now AMD has to go back to square one to innovate their existing chip to be able to get the seat at the table. If there's a delay in Blackwell chip, either 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is, it does open up a window where AMD's latest product can be apples to apples to whatever the hottest, most innovative chip product is in the market. And that is a big win driver for AMD potentially in the short term, where the biggest bear case for AMD is always they will always have the second fiddle quality in chips. If that's not the case, and they're actually like 1A, 1B, if there's a delay in Blackwell chip, AMD stock will catch a bid. What was today's AMD? Let's see. AMD caught a decent bid today. I'm not surprised. I haven't looked at it since this morning, but AMD was up 3%. So AMD is, again, fundamentally cheap, but it lacks the quality like that NVIDIA offers. So NVIDIA's demise on the Blackwell delay is the benefit for AMD. So I do think AMD will catch a bid. I also do think this is all a narrative. There's no facts. All we've heard from Jensen is Blackwell is sold out. Everything is good to go. Everything that we're hearing right now is just rumors. And it feels like Groundhog Day because every time before an NVIDIA earnings print, there's some kind of FUD that gets generated where there's a semi-sell-off in NVIDIA stock before they report their earnings. This could be that. I'm not buying because I have a decent position when I got in at $92 from the yen carry trade, but I do think that is what their earnings is the next catalyst. My eyes isn't to NVIDIA because my eyes is to Snowflake, who's reporting the same afternoon. And I've been sticking my neck out all year for Snowflake. I do think this is the next big runner, either this quarter or next earnings reports. They're going to be the biggest winner. Either way, NVIDIA, this dip, it gets scooped up. I think all it takes is Jensen to say that there's no issues on their Blackwell launch, and the stock theoretically should go back to where it was at 140, above 140. The biggest key for NVIDIA, though, on their earnings report isn't what they actually report. It's going to be their guide. We already got past couple weeks, Meta, Microsoft, Google, what they're gonna we got their CapEx dollars amount. They beat estimates, and not just beat estimates, they sequentially increase aggressively. So the party is still going strong for NVIDIA's chips. The issue is on the AI demand is going forward. Is there a delay on Blackwell? Is there a slowdown on demand from these big tech players? Either way, their guide is going to be just as important with the numbers or reports. And we have to see from that, because if NVIDIA has any hints, like just even a little hint of weakening demand on AI, on their chips, that's going to be blown way out of proportion. That's FUD's going to be generated that if AI is an S curve, we're in the middle part because NVIDIA is starting to cool off on their demand, or the AI theme is like bursting the bubble, wherever it might be. That is a major catalyst. And I 2 cents, I think it's going to be just as strong as it was previous quarters. And we're just going to hit all-time highs afterwards. And after Thanksgiving break, when the market's essentially dead, which is next week, like next week will be pretty dead in the market. After that, I think it's not going to be a jog. It's going to be an absolute sprint towards the end of the year rally. Like it's going to be explosive. You're going to see crypto raging. Crypto's going to be Bitcoin's going to be over 100K. You're going to see NVIDIA above 150. You're going to probably see Palantir hit a new all-time high. Like everything will get bonkers in the month of December if NVIDIA can deliver. What do you think about that, Austin?
I was just sitting here just enjoying to myself that we were, for those of you in the Discord, congratulations, because you're buying Bitcoin at 17K. And it's just a delight, you know. It just feels nice. It's just nice to know that, yeah, just look at that. Look at that majestic beauty. I was a big believer. So 2019, Tom Lee was one of the first to really, which Shine I got the pleasure of meeting, Mr. Small Cap, Mr. Spec. It was really cool because he's a legend in my book. And I believe in yours too, right? Like you're a Tom Lee guy, big fan.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, 2019, he was getting skewered across the board. So Tom, what you're telling me is you think it makes sense to put 1% of your holdings into Bit? Dude, the guy said 1%. And this was 2018, maybe 2019, and these like CNBC guys are just grilling him like you're an idiot, like just looking at him like he was dumb, right? And his argument was simple: is that look, at the end of the day, you can afford the loss, but you can't afford to miss it. That 1% could end up becoming a prime factor in the growth of your portfolio. And it requires such a small amount of risk to do so that the opportunity cost is much greater to not participate than to take a little bit of risk and participate with a small percentage of your allocation from the beginning. Most sensible argument. I mean, spot on, agreed. That's what we do with the SPY Lotto stuff. It makes no look, we're risking 150 to make $500. We take those trades 5 times, we win 2 of them, we're already up significantly. So the argument's the same. I just love seeing Bitcoin. So when I posted that 17K entry on Bitcoin, my target was 56,369 a coin. That's 313% upside. We have now crushed that target. Crushed it. And the next one is right here at about 103. I think Bitcoin currencies, Forex, all that stuff trades very well technically. So this is where if you guys don't follow, you just commented. Mr. Bitcoin J, ask for him in the Discord. Great coach. He can teach you the ins and outs of crypto and technical analysis. Phenomenal job. But dude, just the Bitcoin run in general just made me so delighted. So question for you. I don't know if you recall this, but do you remember when Tesla added a bunch of Bitcoin to their balance sheet? Didn't they get rid of it?
Trimmed. I don't think they got rid of it.
Okay, good. So
yeah,
there's another argument, and that's a perfect segue for us into what has been effectively our second top performer of the year. So keep in mind, Shai and I were live on this stream when we were adding $140 equity. It was not the right time for options. Again, you guys know this from the jump. I'm a big believer of total transparency. So I just want you to see this with your own eyes here. This was the Tesla trade that we called out for those that are in the private group. So that's how it's done. It's up 417%. Those Tesla calls. Let me see when we opened it. We opened it on October 11th. So right. Are we on the weekly? Let me go to the daily. October 11. Where are you? Right here. So when we got that gap down to what, 214? Look, it drew down to 212, so entry was fine. We added that right here, and obviously we went to here. This was up over 500%, but again, I have a little more expiration on this, so I think this is going to hold out. I wanted you guys to just see it firsthand and know we're not full of shit. So this is how we've done. I mean, you could see his is also crushed. I think we're up almost like the same amount, ironically, 178% in the past year. Just with these trades. And again, most of these trades are smaller trades, guys. These are not trades you need $500,000 in your account to trade. I know when he was pounding the table on Rocket Lab, $3.70. I went to $15.20. There's another 400 or 500% there. So the goal here is to give you guys that juice that can make you money, even if you have a small account, because no one should be left behind on this ride or left out. And yes, as he just said, as you can see on that P&L I just showed you, notice there was no wild swings on it. It was just consistent growth because it's consistent. Farouk, quick question, and we'll get into Tesla. I used to do something like this. I used to basically trim it down to like 30 to 50 grand every time, just to kind of manage position sizes. I don't know if I'm ready. I might be ready for a little bit of a bigger boy position size now. I'm starting to realize that I've changed in a good way. It's a great question. Maybe I'll pull 50 out and put it in a separate one that we can kind of monitor together. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. So it's a hard balance, guys. We're doing these trades. Like we got to manage our own stuff. And the goal is that everyone is able to relate, understand, and allocate based on their own ideas. None of this is advice. We're not advisors, right? But in a way that you can kind of follow what we're doing and make the best decision for you. But I also understand that you want to make sure, okay, scale up. Yeah, dividends. Pookie's right. I do want to put like a couple $100,000 in dividends. Piss me off that I don't have that passive money coming, but we'll get back to it. So Tesla, that's a good question in the Discord. We'll talk about it. Booming, dude. So everyone shits on these fib arcs, okay? They were like talking all this shit on TradingView. Just a bunch of dicks, but because they're jealous, and that's okay. So these are extremely beneficial to use to understand time value. Very important. When you're trading options, if you don't understand time value, you're not trading options. You're playing a slot machine. You're going to lose. You're going to lose all your money. When you do this the right way, you can basically options are a bell curve, right? You can make it so that as they go up that bell curve, you're hitting take profit every time that bell curve turns over. That's why I use these. So as you can see, it was pretty much spot on with Tesla. Notice how it's following the pattern almost perfectly and always has until we get breakouts, right? So now we're in the upper area of this, the upper bands, which is very important. Keep in mind, we told you guys 203 to 260. That was the money. That was the money lane, right? Breakout here. We're going up to 260. That's exactly what we did. And now we're breaking out here. Sky's the limit. I think we're heading back to 440 and change. That's just me. But Shai, what do you see in your end Tesla? Obviously, it's the Trump news. It's just Elon being, adjacent to the president, and also having a governmental department head position. I feel like Elon wins, Tesla wins, we win.
So they pulled back last week because the EV credits got rolled back. $7,500 credits going to be removed. So that's obviously going to not be, buying an EV car is going to not be as enticing as a consumer because you're essentially paying $8K more than you were just a couple months ago. So all right, fine. That is bearish for a lot of the whole EV space. That really is very bearish. But again, how are you viewing Tesla? Are you viewing it with EV goggles or AI software goggles? For Austin and I, it's AI software goggles. Anytime there's any headwinds due to hitting their EV business, I'm like, okay, not a big deal. It's a bump. It's not a dead end. We have to turn back and figure it out. That's what happened last week. And guess what? We knew that, all right, the $7,500 credit is going to hurt the whole industry, but who's it going to really hurt? Because Tesla's the only EV company that has profitable margins for every car they sell.
Right.
Everyone else is negative, and that's with $7,500 EV credits. So imagine if you remove that, how much more negative is it going to be? It's just going to be unsustainable for the competitors, and there's going to be a massive consolidation in that space. So again, if I'm Elon, he's letting Trump do this. It's not going to affect him because he's like, all right, you're going to kill off my competition. We're going to survive, maybe not thrive. We're going to survive, and we're going to cannibalize the competitors and increase our market share that's already substantial at number one market share. So that's the EV take. Knowing that, all right, that's going to be a net positive for Tesla long term, but also short term. Do you not think there's going to be a gold rush on people like wanting to buy Tesla sometime in 2025? 100%. Now all of a sudden, I have to go buy it next month or two. There's going to be a lot of pull forward demand on their EV numbers in next
Especially
earnings.
If they scale in that economy model or whatever they're talking about.
Yeah,
they're talking about making a car under 30 grand.
Yeah, exactly. The robotaxi. I mean, either way, like it's gonna for the next one or two earnings reports, they're gonna beat estimates by significantly. And this all the sellback from last week was going to be something that was like 6 months plus forward looking. But guess what's going to happen in 6+ months? Autonomy and FSD will be much further along and maybe might be at that point where they can commercially scale. And that's a game changer on the fundamentals for Tesla because right now they're an 18 to 19% gross margin business because, again, EV company right now. But if they have FSD revenue coming through more aggressively, like we had a couple $100 million that's last earnings report, and that's a 90% gross margin. So if they can scale to $1 billion a year in FSD revenue, that's $900 million straight to the pocket for Tesla. And that's way different than the 18 to 19% gross margin business they have right now. And that's going to turn their 18 and 19% gross margin to something 25%, maybe even 30%. If that's the case, the street is violently undervaluing Tesla in the next couple of years. And I think you're going to see Trump's making that pathway easier for Elon. It's just going to accelerate the inevitable, just like how COVID accelerated the adoption of e-commerce. Everyone knew brick and mortar was dying. E-commerce was the future. COVID accelerated that process probably a decade, 10 years worth in like matter of that 1 year. And you're going to see the same thing with autonomy. Like autonomy is inevitable. I think Trump is going to be that inflection period of accelerating that inevitability, and it's going to benefit Tesla substantially. And the reality of that is now increasing substantially week after week after Trump's victory. So I think when Tesla goes, it goes. It doesn't just go like, oh, it doesn't go at an Amazon pace where Amazon one of the best earnings last quarter. It's only up 10 or 15% since then. When Tesla goes, it runs like it goes from a $500 billion company to a $2 trillion company within a year. It's the way it runs because they have such a chokehold on so many different industries that if the regulation sides with them, that they're going to benefit substantially, and they're just going to tackle new growth strategies going forward. But either way, the robo-taxi network is substantial. The TAM for autonomy is wildly underestimated, and right now it's in the I think it's $1 trillion by the end of this decade. So like it's everything is lining up for Tesla to be in 2025 to be a Meta-like year in 2023, where you saw like Meta all of a sudden was tanking, and people are doubting Zuck. Then they got then they saw the margin expansion happen in the fundamentals, and that sequentially increased every earnings report. That could be the setup for Tesla in 2025, and that's not even factoring in the easy year-over-year comps it's going against, because 2024 was not a good year for the EV industry. It just was ugly because higher for longer interest rates. So now it's just everything's setting up for a layup next year, and I'm really banking in 2026. FSD isn't going to be some unicorn dream. It's going to be a substantial part of their business. If that's the case, Tesla will be $1,000 stock probably in the next couple of years. And you're going to see like this basing its experience the past couple of years as like, I can't believe I missed on Tesla. I can't believe that cult around Elon blinded me from the actual fundamentals. Like, you're going to experience that FOMO. And that's why Austin and I, like, we bought equity at 140, 150, because we had that AI software vision for Tesla. We didn't know when it was going to get there. But now all of a sudden, everyone saw Tesla as an EV company under $200. Now at 350, people cannot wait to get their hands on some shares of Tesla, because they're going to miss out on the next AI opportunity. Because like I say, NVIDIA is the hardware AI winner. Palantir is the enterprise AI winner. Tesla is a real world AI winner. Those are the three monsters of the AI thematic. NVIDIA's run. You've seen Palantir running. Tesla really hasn't ran yet. It was just oversold. It's got back to where it was a couple years ago. The run has not happened yet. No. That's why people want to get ahead of this and get their hands on it. It's going to run.
It's exactly what we said. I mean, I think you were the chief proponent of saying it, but like when we were talking about it at $140, and then we were talking about it, like 160, 174, like, hey, you still didn't miss it yet. People were talking, and it was like, dude, you're going to be begging for it at $300. You'd be begging for it. Why do you want to do that? So it is what it is. Look, you guys, at the end of the day, you do what's true to your heart, baby. But this train's running. I hope you don't miss it. So let's talk targets. We've hit 339. That was the other one, 403. And then I was trying to think of where this extension put us. I think it was saying 587. I think that's a little ambitious, but just looking at past price action, I think you can pretty reasonably assume that, we're going to see 384 again. That's like our next critical point we have to hit, because that is what's going to kind of set the pace for the future. Oops, I don't know what I just deleted. There we go. That's going to set the tone for the future. So 384 is number one. That's where I'm looking first and foremost. And then after that, I think really it's just testing 400, and then we're in blue sky territory. So the way I think about it is like, so every time you get further from the inflection point, right, which we cut it right down the middle. Okay. That's putting us right at about 268. The expressions will grow just like with NVIDIA. It's shorter move up, a little bit longer move up, and then a little bit longer move up, and then a little bit longer move up, until inevitably it starts to consolidate and finds a base. That's how these stocks move. That's how they trade. That's exactly what happened with Robinhood, Palantir, NVIDIA. So the question is how long will the expressions continue? I think realistically, we double. $600. Like, it's happening. I don't think there's any fight in it. I think that's minimum. I think we'll be laughing in a year or two when they are forward splitting from 1,000 a share, because it's too much, right? When they're announcing that forward split, stock runs even more. And we're sitting there at this point, guys, right? If you're in at the 140, that means that you cashed in on a 10x return. 10x. You got shares, they do 10 to 1, for example. You will have Tesla from $14, which ironically is about what I have NVIDIA from. Post-split adjusted price. My NVIDIA shares in two lots are $14 and $6 a share. It's at 150. That's where we want to see you guys with this Tesla position.
No, I mean, I couldn't agree. People overcomplicate things. Like I'm telling you, like there's 3 AI winners right now. It's 3 clear ones, like the tier 1 AI winners. It's NVIDIA, it's Palantir, and Tesla. Fundamentals aren't there yet right now for Tesla. It's never, their cyclicality of their business never will be backed up by fundamentals. Like when it looks expensive, that's when you buy. When it looks really cheap, that's when you kind of sell. It's the cyclicality nature of Tesla's business model or EV space. The Fed is on our side. Like I'm telling you, the rates are going to keep going lower and lower. Like Elon, I just think that like the people are getting their politics and like what they view Elon as part of like Tesla's business. Like it's very separate. Like you can be bullish on Tesla, but be bearish on Elon's antics. It doesn't have to be correlated. And I think like Tesla going forward will be treated as a vehicle for anything Trump related. If Trump gains steam of something, if anything in the next 4 years, Trump gains some kind of bullish sentiment or something big happens for Trump, Tesla's going to catch a bid because it's essentially, it's not a DJT because it's a real business, but it's like, it's your boy. Like, you're going to help out your homie. Like, it's like, you're part of my squad. Like, you're just going to help out your homies. Like, if things are going well for you, like, that's just how it's going to go. And also, Trump is not going to give a fuck in his next 4 years because he's not going to get reelected. He's in like, he can do whatever he wants technically, whatever the Congress and Senate lets him. But like, he can help out the people he wants to help out and treat it as like an ROI. Like when I'm out of office, those same people are going to help me afterwards because I saw what happened in my first presidency where my net worth went down substantially. That freaking hurt him. It really hurt him. It's not going to happen again. But either way, I think Palantir is inevitably going to hit $100 sometime. I think Tesla is inevitably going to hit that $1,000 sometime. And I think NVIDIA is going to hit 150 for sure. So I'm not for sure, I should say, really in the near term. But I wouldn't doubt that them hitting $200 sometime next year because right now they have the chokehold, the pricing power. It's a sprint for them right now because it's inevitable. A lot of the big tech players are making their own chips. They're going to lose this pricing power. They're going to lose that 75% gross margin business that they have right now. They're going to. I can promise you their gross margins will not deteriorate, but trend lower at certain points. And when that does, or there's any kind of signs of margin deterioration, I think the near term is going to be really troubling for NVIDIA. But I'm not saying that I would sell NVIDIA because I think they're creating the full end-to-end now. It's not just a hardware company. They created a software platform surrounding their hardware and essentially becoming so streamlined with a lot of companies like initiatives for the next couple of years that they're going to be sticky. But I'm saying the business case or stock price, business case, like a multiple base, a compression might happen for NVIDIA if you see their earnings start trending lower. And that's inevitable. It's up 500% in the past 2 years. Like it's a $4 trillion company. It can't maintain what it's maintained. It's going to be a slowdown period. And when that slowdown period happens, people will jump ship because of the cyclicality nature of their business. Freaks people out. They don't want to be holding the bag for who knows how long when that cyclicality of that business is like going through that tough times.
100%. And you can see NVIDIA's kind of falling in line perfectly. The more price data we get, you guys, the more price data we get, the better we can extrapolate it out and more easier it is to then kind of predict these structures in the future. Again, it's never a guarantee, but look at how it's starting to follow this trend exactly as it should, with earnings hanging on the horizon as the variable, right? So like what do you see here, right? Got to be able to feel the chart. Like you should be able to know earnings might not be as explosive as they have been. So there is fear being bred here in this chart. You can see that there's indecision and fear, not the overwhelming buying that you've seen all the way through up until this point. You should be able to read that from the chart, and then you get it here. You come listen to Shy, break that down in the earnings. It should then be confirmation for you. And then you understand based on what we tell you on the chart, like, look, it is happening. I get it. So when you see some guy YOLOing like 200 NVIDIA calls for earnings, you go, man, that's stupid. Because nothing about the structure right now is saying that's a good trade. Nothing about what Shai's telling me about the fundamentals are telling me that's a good trade. My goal is to actually prevent you more so from doing the dumb shit that everyone's doing on socials and blowing your gun. It's firepower. If you have no firepower, you don't win the war. The single worst thing you can do is blow your account up. So we're trying to help you do that. So there it is. We've covered a few names. We're going to get into it now.
Let's stick with NVIDIA because we're going to play that trivia game right now for the next couple minutes.
Oh, let's
it's
do
an
it.
NVIDIA themed.
Then we get into Smash or Pass.
Putting it right here. $100. I really hope we get it from one of the lifetime members because I love feeding the family, essentially, the $100. So here's the link below. We're going to play in next. I'm going to let you guys get the link next 30 seconds. 3 questions about NVIDIA. Austin and I talk about NVIDIA religiously for months. These questions will be very easy for you guys. I really hope so. So we're going to launch it in 3. Let me set that up. Also, this goes for the Penny Boys squad too, like Pookie, Porter. If you guys get this right, I will put your names in a randomizer and you can buy yourself some sushi or maybe some, I don't know, ton of soda, Celsius. Who knows what you guys want. I'm going to launch it right now in 3, 2, 1, go. While we're playing this game, Austin, what do you think that's going to happen to NVIDIA on Wednesday? Do you think it's going to be a bloodbath? Is it going to be the first bloodbath that we're going to see in NVIDIA's journey? Or is this going to be the same thing? History repeats itself. It was all FUD. Party's going to continue.
Oh, man, I hope it's not bloodbath. But I could easily, if it is bloodbath, it's coming down to 115, 120. Or what was on the ticket for this earnings, right? Like there was something I remember them saying that expected growth on. Like you want to see data center numbers grow. I mean, I think that's kind of becoming the core stable driver of stock price. Let me take a look at what the earnings projections are here. Come on. God, this NASDAQ site is so slow, dude. It's so bad. I can't believe you haven't lagged out once. Your internet is fixed. It's beautiful. I mean, fiscal quarter end earnings have only been revised up.
It's because that Blackwell demand. Yeah, the Blackwell demand. I think it spooked a lot of people up, but Jensen was very public. It's sold out. And if it's sold out, like this is a pricier chip. Like it's going to be a ton more growth. Farouk, I see you did the name's gonna be randomized. I'm glad you got 3 for 3. I'm shocked that you got the founding. I thought the NVIDIA being founded was gonna trick a lot of people. That was gonna be a tough one. I think a lot of people underestimate how long, when NVIDIA was actually founded. Oh, Pookie. 1 for 3.
While we're waiting, Mitch asked a good question. Can I throw that out there? NVIDIA has beat AMD raised all year, yet people are worried about the inevitable slowdown that isn't here yet in the numbers. I don't really understand the question, Mitch, if you could elaborate a little bit. But we broke down AMD for you. Like that, to me, that chart tells that story perfectly. You don't need to do nothing but wait. We broke it down for you a little while ago on the live stream that we were just waiting for this opportunity to buy 120s. That's where this will start to make sense. I
mean, I don't know. AMD is tricky because,
but there's no reason to really buy it, to be honest.
It's leftovers. It's whatever NVIDIA's leftovers are.
Yeah.
Is AMD's food. Like, why would you want to get secondhand food when you can nobody's preventing you from buying NVIDIA? You're just looking at the last year or 2 year performance, freaking yourself out on I don't want to buy it near top, but I'd rather buy a falling knife because it hasn't really ran yet. Like that's just not how I know that's the psychology of a lot of investors, but that's not how you're supposed to pick a stock. It's not like, oh, buying second fiddle. It's you just don't do that. Either way, so I don't know. AMD is tricky. I used to think there was maybe a pathway for them, but as soon as NVIDIA started launching Blackwell, within a year, and they already announced the one after Blackwell, I'm like, oh god, they're not giving AMD a chance. And I think by the time AMD does actually hit a a runway. I think that maybe the demand for the investment stage of AI might be near a pause. And now AMD's like, I'm finally here. I'm at the table. And now nobody's serving food really.
Yeah, there's just nothing left. This SQ squares, actually, that is interesting. So if you don't have stocks, buddy, you should, because it gave the monthly bull signal at 60. It's already up 50%. If you don't have that, get it. It's I don't know, probably best thing I've ever used for as far as an indicator is concerned. But Stocks Buddy in the monthly loves it. So let's get into Smash or Pass. Are we good? Did everyone get through and get their answers? Did you pick somebody?
I have to randomize it right now, but I'll let everyone know after randomize. But yeah, it's
all right.
just
He's going to randomize right now. While he's randomizing, everybody drop your ticker in the chat. I just ask that you put one per comment. We're going to get through as many as we can in a quick 10-second smash or pass. Do we love it or hate it? We will let you know. Whoa, somebody's throwing pennies in there. Cool. All right, so let's just break right into it. Tammy, are you talking about BKSY? We'll give Coles that first taste. Black Sky Technology. What the hell is this, dude? Oh, this chart looks creamy. I could get into something like this.
I want to say that's an eVTOL company. Let me double check.
It's a what?
eVTOL.
The hell is that?
Like Joby Aviation, like those flying taxis.
Oh,
let's see.
This chart is spectacular.
Oh my god, no! It's a satellite company. I don't know. I think there's one. I think Rocket Lab is by far the best out there. So
Coles is up like 4,800% or something on that trade. So I think he's just itching for another one of those boom boom bangs. He's looking for arbitrage. I mean, this thing got beat and sold off. So I don't know if it's a comp to Rocket Lab. I'd say just roll with that, man. On to the next one. Palantir. Obviously this one's a smash, but keep in mind. Here's what we did. We bought here. I'll give you the full picture. We were buying here. If you're in the Discord, you were buying here $7, $8. Our targets were 45 and then 70. We hit as high as 66 so far. So this one was a hard smash. It's already run. So make sure you get in on that Discord action, my friend, so you don't miss that next big trade. That's your ticket. Yo, ticket to freedom, man. So let's keep going. Target. Interesting. I'm going to skip the penny. Sorry, my friend. I can do that another time. So I was a big buyer of Target at $100 when we had that huge sell-off, like 105, 110, so October. And I sold most of it when we hit 173. But it's now looking range-bound. That's a huge bullish engulf. That looks super interesting. And this is the monthly chart. Went bullish, 134, still bullish. Stocks Buddy auto-calculated the stop loss at 145. I got to say, dude, what's your vision on retail? Because I think slowdown is already happening. But
hey, Austin, zoom in on my face. Let me do a solo shot. I'm about to say a hot take right now. Target will be the next CVS. I don't think there's a future for them. I think they will be lost in the weeds. They're not Walmart. They're not Whole Foods. They're not Best Buy. Like they are just like, they don't offer the convenience. They have no e-commerce presence. Their subscription business was an absolute flop. And they don't have the pricing because like Walmart, they don't have the pricing like Walmart. They don't have the convenience like Amazon. They don't have any pharmacy presence, so they can't really get that kind of revenue. And their groceries business is like, who buys groceries there? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, go somewhere that actually dedicates it because the pricing power isn't there. So I really think Target will be the next CVS. It's not going to happen in the next couple of years. In 10 years, I wouldn't be surprised on that because it is not a good experience walking in there, and it's not convenient, and it's not cheap. What are they? Except for some presence that they first mover advantage, but that's kind of fading now. Like first mover doesn't necessarily mean anything unless you can offer pricing and convenience for consumers, and they offer neither.
Damn. I didn't
Told
see
you, hot
that.
take. I could be way wrong, but like
Woo! I
I
don't care. I
smell
liked it.
CVS all over them.
They have middle-aged white women, so like I don't ever discount that segment because they got all the spending power. But I totally hear that 100%, 100%, and I'd agree. Like it's like they don't specialize at any one thing, which is like probably not good. Estee Lauder, ugh, pass. I also think that there's been a huge disruption in like the cosmetics industry. I think that there's so many, it's influencer based now, and there's so many small brands and white label products at this point that I don't think like you'll ever see like an Estee Lauder again that's going to just capitalize and dominate the market.
You won't. I think Elf cornered the cheap side of the business, but yeah, I mean, even Buffett dumped Ulta, I think, recently. He just held that for 3 months.
Hard pass. She's done. Rocket Games, CFLT. Let's see. We're gonna get through these quick.
Confluent.
Sounds like a you thing.
It is a me thing. This is a tough one for me. I'm not gonna lie. I think streaming data would be an absolute necessity in the modern AI tech stack. I don't know. The jury's still out there if that needs to be managed source. Their open source Kafka is best of breed, and it's being used again open source by everyone. The jury, like nobody, I don't believe that managed source is necessary. And you're seeing that in their growth. Like they have a monopoly in streaming data, and they're going only 25% top line. Tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, I would say if this is one you're in, like there's a clear below 25, this thing sells off. So I mean, if you're in now, it's like a marginal loss. If you want to keep holding it and take that risk, but I'd say that it dies below 25. So Celsius here, I just could see my chart. Selling off, unfortunately, just I mean, this is one of your. I know you made a killing on this. Too much, too fast.
Oh, I think fair value is $40 for this name. So I think there's gonna be some kind of a dead cat bounce. I don't know if it will happen when the shelving issue's still active, but they just made a $75 million acquisition to widen their distribution. Like all cash offer. You don't do that if you're worried about demand.
Yeah, guys, I would say I agree with that. Strong buy 21, 22, low is 14. That's a bottom dollar buy. Discount bin. Buy it. Buy for me. CVNA Carvana, dude. One of my greatest regrets that I was on the stream and I was like, oh, dude, this is easy. If this goes over 12, it's going to go to 25. And then I was talking to them that if it goes over 35, this could rip. It goes to $244. It's like it's the 25xer I never bought myself. And I just want to shoot myself over that.
I didn't believe in their business model at all. But
yeah,
I'm wrong.
Too much, too fast. I would pass on this for now, just to be honest. SMCI, I'm assuming this is to you. You said $24 this morning.
Did you see what happened after hours? They're up 30% after hours.
Today?
They're not getting delisted from NASDAQ. Listen.
Oh, it's up 30%
after hours on top of being up 15% today. So
why would they get delisted? Today. They're trading at like $26.
No, accounting issues. Do you know?
Reporting requirements.
Reporting requirements. They finally found an auditor, so they're going to survive this delisting. Doesn't mean there's a bull case for the company. I think this is highlighting where if you're a commodity business like servers, doesn't matter if you have a great product, like that product can be duplicated by bigger, better players in the space, HPE and Dell. SMCI doesn't own the IP. They have no moats. Do what you want. It might be a vehicle for AI thematic to get the most alpha, but it's not a good business to be invested in.
Yeah. So, all right, we got a wrap here. I just wanted to showcase I was wrong. Cools is up 7,700% on those Rocket Lab options. So that's my guy. I love that. This is good stuff. I love y'all. Again, I know I'm pumped. The participation here, guys. This is awesome. So just to know, we'll make more time for this next week since there's so much interest. So 5 p.m. Eastern, come back next week. And beyond that, if you had further questions or you wanted your smash or pass, I'm going to do you a solid. Join the Discord, post it in there, and someone will get back, look at that chart for you, give you some feedback. Feel free to post it in the free chat, stock chat, wherever. And you can follow us over to Twitter right now for a space that we're going to jump into.
So real quick, winner is Zum Emily, XUM Emily. DM me.
What is it again? Spell it.
XUM Emily. Zum Emily. But yeah, Austin and I are late right now. Shoots, we gotta hop off.
So there it is. Emily. DM Stock Savvy Shy. You can also DM our account if you're lost, can't find it. We'll get you squared away. Love y'all. Stay blessed now. Bye bye.